Hello and welcome to another repair video. I have this PlayStation 4 here and it has the blue light of death. I'll show you what happens when we press the power button. It beeps, or it'll turn on for a second and then shut right back off. So the blue light of death thing, there are actually a couple symptoms that are similar, two different variants of the blue light of death. One is related to the power supply, the other one's related to the APU. But this one, when it turns on for just 1 second, most of the time that is power supply related. I'll bring you in for a closer look to show you how that's responding to a button press for turning it on. And then we'll get into the guts of this thing and see if we can't repair the power supply, or at least investigate it to see if that's the actual problem. This is my first PS4, so fingers crossed, I'll get into it and hopefully we can get this beast running. Okay, so here is what it does when we press the power button. And that's it. You can hear the hard drive spin up for a second, the light shuts right back off. So I'm gonna pull this open and we'll take a look at the power supply to see if that is the actual issue or not. Let's get cracking. Okay, so I pulled out these 4 Torx screws from the back panel here, from the bottom of this PS4. Now this should just separate and maybe slide forward. Like I said, I've never done this before. Oh yeah, it just pops out like that, and it looks like the cover just lifts up. A little dirt in there. That comes apart nice and easily. I like that. And then we have, looks like this is where we plug in our power, so this would have to be our power supply unit. I'm gonna go ahead and take those screws out. There we go, just lift it from the side. Up like this. There's a cable on this side, so I'm gonna lift it up over like this. And that we can just unplug. Like that. So that's the power supply out of there. I guess we're gonna put the PS4 to the side, and then we will open up the power supply. Looks like we have some Phillips screwdriver screws. One there, one there. That just comes apart really hard. Okay, so here is our power supply. So now we want to find out exactly what is going on here. I'm doing a visual inspection for starters. Making sure none of the pins look burned. Making sure none of the components look fried. Most everything looks pretty good there on that side. On this side, we're just checking capacitors. Okay, I'm just doing a basic reflow on this PlayStation 4 processor, and let's see if that works. So we'll just bring the temperature to like 240, 340 maybe, probably 340. Keep it there for a couple minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna say that's about good enough. I'll just cool it down and reassemble and try it out. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use this quarter to give me a little more leverage on the clamp that goes to pressing the APU against the heatsink. Like that. Just give it a squeeze with my hand here. And just pay attention to this lighting area. Okay, continuing on with this PlayStation 4. So I've discovered if I put pressure here, it'll come on. I've tried placing a quarter here for more leverage, but what I'm going to do now is they have these fabric little washers here. I'm going to put on a couple lock washers. They have the little springy slit in the side. So I'm just going to add one at a time, but I'm going to do one on each side just so it's even. The idea behind the washers is that these will only screw in so far. So if I have a washer in between the two metal portions, what I'll do is I'll turn it so that lock section, the crease or the seam, is underneath, say, the center, like that. So these washers are sitting like this inside. So we're compressing this portion. I want to keep it fairly center and just hold it in place with my hand. I'll just tighten one side at a time, not all the way down, just gradually. Feels good and tight. Now I'm going to see if it'll come on with a couple lock washers. Still not enough pressure. I'm just going to tighten this more. And that totally works. So I put a lock washer under this thermal bracket, this pressure bracket. It basically holds the CPU or the APU close to the heatsink on the opposite side. So I'm gonna get this connected to the television and see if we have any signs of life. And that white light usually means that the PlayStation is running normally, so let's get it connected to a television and see what happens. Okay, so I guess it's time to plug this PlayStation 4 in and see if it'll actually turn on for us. So the beauty about the PlayStation 3 is we can use the same cables to plug in the PlayStation 4 and give it a test. Get this all plugged in here. Get that balanced, and I borrowed a controller from my cousin along with a couple games. So if this thing fires up, I want to test the few and see if they work. But first, the moment of truth. Let me get everything turned on. And let's see what happens. And it looks like it's coming on. It's definitely powered on, which is awesome. And it looks like our PlayStation 4 is now functional. So we have to push the PS button to sync the controller. And then we have our user profiles. Looks like the old ones are still on there from whoever had it the last time. I'm just gonna pop a game in and see what happens. Hopefully it reads discs as well. Sorry for the bad angle. I had to do it because of the glare from the windows, but oh, we'll do a new user. Play as a guest. Don't sign in. So yeah, there you have it. I did some heating of the main board. Added some new thermal paste and some pressure onto the heatsink using a couple lock washers for extra pressure. And looks like our PlayStation will just be in test mode for now. We'll play it for a couple hours and a couple days and see if it just keeps running for us. Looks like we're loading. And yeah, the Blu-ray player works. The PlayStation 4 is functioning like it should. So yeah, there you have it. My first PS4 fix. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to contact me by leaving a comment below. And yeah, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and until next time, we will see you later. Thanks for watching. Easy, son. You're not a soldier yet. I'll have your gun.